Hi, I'm Alan C. Suero. I posted a video about stress that started getting a lot of attention, and I only said a few things about stress. Why is it getting so much attention? I don't know, it's a mystery to me. But I'm gonna talk more about stress on this video because definitely people are interested in this subject, and I know a lot about this subject because I suffered from excessive stress and anxiety through my whole life. Okay? Especially when I had crisis, I suffered a lot of stress and I treated it with different tools. I also used some pharma for short periods of time at some point. And later in my life, I had extreme anxiety and I had to use pharma for a longer period of time, which I'm glad I'm not using pharma anymore because I found these other tools that work perfectly for me. Okay? So, what are some things you can do about your stress? There is one thing called the DARE response. And the DARE response is all about accepting. Okay? It's all about accepting your feelings, knowing that you're not gonna die when you get a panic attack. Once you had a few panic attacks or anxiety attacks, you know how they are like. And you didn't die, right? So if you didn't die, then you got nothing to be afraid of. So the problem with anxiety is that you become afraid of being afraid. You become anxious of being anxious. And then the experience itself scares you. And that is the second stage of anxiety, because on the first stage, you're afraid of danger, you feel anxious about a specific event, like getting fired from your job, or having health problems, or losing in money, or losing in the exchange, or something like that, right? There can be a million reasons. But at the beginning, you're afraid of a specific event that might repeat itself, and later you become just anxious of being anxious or afraid of being afraid. And that is something that needs to be dealt with. You also feel every event you were afraid in your life, you feel it in one moment. When you're afraid of being afraid, everything gets bottled into one place. It's a bottleneck into one place, and you feel anxiety, and you don't know why you feel anxiety. Because there are anxiety events throughout your life, and they're all in your subconscious, and you're feeling them all at the same time, so you cannot identify what that anxiety is. Okay? So the DARE response works by accepting that the anxiety is a normal feeling. And you dare it. You say, go ahead, pass through me. Go ahead, give me the anxiety, go ahead. I'm just gonna relax here and let it pass. The anxiety will pass. That high level of anxiety attack will pass. You will feel a lower level of continuous anxiety if you're in that emotional state that you need to deal with. But using the DARE response will help you lower that anxiety attack, high stress feeling into a much lower scale of anxiety. All right? Once you're in that lower scale of anxiety, then you can do something about it. And what you need to do is examine your values. Examine, what do you believe that is creating this sense of danger? Is triggering the fight or flight response in you, which is a natural primitive response of the human brain, and it pumps you with adrenaline and cortisol, and you feel anxious. All right? So the DARE response works by lowering that anxiety to a lower level, so that in that lower level you can examine exactly what beliefs are giving you that anxiety. You may have many events in your life that give you anxiety. And the way to get rid of that is to make peace with those events. If you keep fighting against those events, if you don't accept them, and if you don't let go of resistance, another way of saying accepting and letting go is surrendering. If you don't surrender to the feeling and you don't surrender to all those anxiety events you had in your life, then it's difficult to make the anxiety disappear. But as you surrender, as you accept, as you let go of all resistance to anxiety, the anxiety keeps going down and getting lower, lower, and lower until you don't feel the anxiety anymore. You may have peaks because nothing in the human brain is a straight line. Everything goes boom, 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 up and down. And if you're improving, you're going up and down, going up. And if you're not improving, you're going up and down, going down. All right? So as you identify these events, I mean, you don't even have to remember all of them, because maybe a few of them you forgot and they're just subconsciously popping into your mind. You have to accept them all, surrender to them, be in complete acceptance, be in complete non-resistance to it, and you'll see how that anxiety begins to fall and fall and fall and fall. And as that anxiety falls, you can reduce your pharma. Talk to your doctor, because pharma has to be reduced in micro doses. If you reduce pharma too fast, then this theory is not going to help you, because the pharma won't let your mind work in the proper way. If you reduce your pharma in microdoses with the advice of a doctor, I repeat, then you can still do everything I'm telling you about. You can still do all these techniques and dissipate completely all your anxiety. But the root cause of anxiety, remember, that is some beliefs you have, whether you remember them or not, and we have to deal with those so that the anxiety doesn't come back. The purpose and my mission is to help people deal with the roots belief of stress, anxiety, sadness, and depression. And I know where those come from. So as you lower your symptoms with a few techniques, then you gotta go back and deal with the root cause. Because if you don't deal with the root cause, those feelings are gonna come back, all right? And I just don't wanna give you gum for bad breath. That only takes care of it for a little bit. I wanna solve the root cause of your anxiety, okay? Well, I'm not gonna solve it. You are the one who's gonna solve it. And this information I give you makes you aware of several universal truths that will help you get rid of anxiety, and you'll be doing it all yourself with this universal truth. So that's gonna be all for this video. I'll see you on my next video.